As we keep it riding, we got to stop it right now. I'm DJ Skee. DJ Journey, hold up with that music a second. We got a very, very special guest. He needs no introduction. The king of the South, the man who we are celebrating his big 40th birthday, t.i.p. What up, brother?
What's going on, G?
How are you feeling, man? First up, happy birthday. How are you celebrating? I know it's a different year. You're not able to party in the big way that you used to, but I know you got to be out there having fun. What you doing today for your birthday?
Well, Skee, I live in Atlanta. You see, the way we set up down here, it's just big enough for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna probably do a private dinner celebration, something like that. My family and friends put together, and just enjoy ourselves, take some time to reflect, and prepare ourselves. Now, one thing that I can say that is being done for the celebration of this moment. Decided two things. One, I'm going to release the video for the record Ring with me and Young Thug. So I'm gonna put that shit out, you know what I'm saying, today. And I'm probably, we'll put it on the billboards in Times Square for BET, the BET billboards in Times Square. I think I'm gonna do that. That's proper celebration. Let me see, and then I'm gonna drop an album, okay? But I'm going to announce that my 11th album will be released October the 16th. It is titled the Libra. The Libra is an acronym. It stands for The Legend is Back Running Atlanta. So, happy birthday to you, motherfuckers.
we getting the real gifts.
You can thank me. You can thank me on the 16th.
I can't wait to hear. Yo, this album is gonna be fire. I already know a couple things you got on there. You got some treats in store. The world ain't ready. How's it feel though to be 2020 T.I. still on top of the game? Your career is something that I think that's underappreciated for all the rewards and stuff. People are going to look back and realize how many things you paved the way for, from obviously trap music and what we know you did on the music side, how you then evolved into acting, into different businesses, into social justice, into speaking out for what's right, and stayed relevant that whole time. There's obviously a lot of points. It's tough in this game to last more than a few years, right? And had those singles. You've been able to have this consistent legacy that's stayed on point. Did you imagine 2001 when a young Tip was just getting in the music industry, that this would be your life in 2020? Was this always the game plan? Like, no, this is what I knew I was going to do. Taking it back, let's take it back 20 years.
Well, although this was definitely the definite intention, you know what I'm saying? This was always a part of the plan. It was either selling enough dope till I could get myself on as a rapper. You know what I mean? Like that I never really had another career path. You know what I'm saying? I threw all of my life into this, between this and the dope game. So the fact that I was like able to actually do what I've been kind of preparing myself to do all my life, that's the real true blessing. The fact that I'm able to do what I love for a living, and I don't have to kind of drag myself out of bed to go to a job that I don't really like to do. I'm just doing it because it pays me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like that's the real beauty of it. And as far as that I see myself here, I knew I was good enough to be here, but I didn't see myself alive, in certain parts of that journey between 97 and here. You know what I'm saying? I say 97 because I feel like that's kind of that's the moment when imminent danger, like, you know what I'm saying? I felt a looming imminent danger. But I worked through it. And through the grace of God and my mama's prayers, my grandmama prayers, and everybody's collective effort, I made it to a point where it was undeniable, simply because like I kind of developed myself into this undeniable talent. You know what I mean? So I knew if I stayed alive long enough and enough people heard my shit, then I was definitely, a shoe-in to be here today. So not everything was done perfect, but that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Life is a series of adjustments.
You've overcome some of the biggest obstacles. I mean, even after you had, you know, arguably the biggest, like some of the biggest singles, biggest hits, like there were moments when we all didn't know if you were going to make it out. And you survived. You've
Right.
overcome all the bullshit, and you're still here. It's just so awesome to see, especially somebody that's worked so hard and has done it the right way and has made incredible. Like trap music, still one of my favorite albums of all time. Like there's
Thank
so
you.
much heat that people don't realize it, and all the people that you've put on along the way, and that you continue to still put on. What advice would you have to the other youngsters out there that are coming up in the game, and what are you telling people that as they're coming to you for advice? What are those keys to success and overcoming these obstacles so you're able to have that longevity, and what keeps you motivated? Like it's easy to just quit and give in. That's the easy way. The hard part is, you know, when people are telling you no, or when things aren't going your way, staying strong. What
Right.
advice are you giving youngsters out there in order to be successful, and so they can follow that same kind of path that you've done?
Well, first of all, I wanted to, like, I would say to them that, you know, the path that, like, my path ain't their path. And you said something like, you know, I did it right. I don't know if I did it right per se, but I did it right for me. It was the right
Yeah.
way for me. You know what I'm saying? So I try to urge artists, especially young artists, to find their path. You know what I mean? Their journey. And a lot of times, man, when we listen to other people who don't have our same vision or our same level of ambition, you know, we can allow other people's fears and failures to be projected on us, and it'll kill any opportunity quicker than failure ever could. You know what I mean? So just to believe in yourself, man, you know what I mean? Just to listen to that thing inside of you, say, man, fuck what they talking about, man, we could do this. And if you listen to that more than you listen to the doubt, more than you listen to the hate and the adversity, then you can make it anywhere in the world, anywhere in life you want to go.
That's 100% real. Yeah. And that's a great point. Everybody's path is going to be unique, right? Like there's been times when the most successful people have given me advice, given you advice, I'm sure. And sometimes you listen and it's not the best advice. You can only learn from
Right.
them, but you always got to follow your own path. Now,
Sometimes you can learn what not to do from a person.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We all have been perfect examples of what to do and what not to do, depending on the situation.
Absolutely. If only we could go back for some of those things, right?
Fuck it. That was a part of the journey. It all led to this
Yeah.
destination. It led us to right here, which is going to lead us to where we're going tomorrow and the next day. I mean, I think everything has a place and a purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Now you've had all the success already. You've achieved more than most will,
But
and
not
so
all
far.
the success. Like, you
You've
know what
had,
I mean?
bro.
We
Don't make me run down. Hold on. I got the sheet
more
that
things to do,
PR.
you know?
I got the sheet that PR sent over in front of me. Look at all the movies, the podcasts, the music. I mean, fuck, look at all the shit we've been through, right? With the artists that you've put
Yeah.
on, right? Like, you know, but like
We have a lengthy history. Like we go back
people, people,
far.
people don't even know. And I've been around you from like some crazy life turning moments. Like I remember being around you I think at South by with Trey when
Mm,
I got the alert from TMZ that was wrong, thank God, about Wayne passing away, right?
mm.
And then I remember there's something like we put you on with Mark Cuban. Like, yeah, there's been some crazy shit we've done together.
Right.
It's been an honor watching you grow through all these years. What
Man,
motivates
likewise.
I appreciate you, brother. You've always been a supporter, and I wouldn't be here seriously if it wasn't for you. You're one of those key people that's given me that credibility, legacy, and always stood there to support for me. Oh, even Ghost Recon and all these things. Yeah, we've done a bunch of
You
other
get
shit
what
now
I'm
that I think
saying?
about it.
That was a milestone moment. You know, that's probably the most interaction I've had of like with the process of making a video game. So that shit was cool.
That was crazy. Yeah, we've done a lot of shit. What keeps you motivated today to keep going, to keep putting out music, to stay on it? Is it that what gives you that drive and that hunger? Because I mean, you've achieved a lot of those things. You've got the money, so it can't be the money that just motivates you. It's always nice, but what's keeping you motivated in 2020 to keep going for another 40 plus years?
Man, well, hopefully it'll take me 40 plus more years, but I mean, I think, bro, just anytime you apply as much passion, honesty, effort, time, and energy into anything, you're gonna want it to be recognized among the best. Whatever it is you do, if you put the lion's share of your time, effort, and energy into baking cakes, you're going to want to be up there with, you know, whoever the best is at baking cakes. And I happen to make music, and therefore that is my motivation, to make sure that I am remembered and acknowledged among the greats in this shit. Not by way of, you know, how many records I sold, how much money I made. Now I'm talking about skill set. I'm talking about being dope. When you drop a motherfucker off in an empty room, man, they supposed to come out with a song. Who's going to actually have, you know, the highest quality of production value when they walk up out of their room? You know what I'm saying? What's going to feel and sound more professional?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's, you know, that's what we doing this shit for. We all, you know, preparing ourselves to play at a professional level. So when we get to that professional level, that shit need to feel like that. It need to look like that. It need to sound like that. It need to be that. You get what I'm saying? And when motherfuckers think what professional music sounds like, my name gonna have to be there.
Yeah.
And I think the only way to do that is to continue to remind people, man, remain consistent, continue to produce the kind of material that makes a connection. You know what I mean? That makes a connection and really become a part of people's lives. Celebrate their triumphs. You know what I'm saying? When they having good times, they know what record of yours they want to put on. When they're going through a tough time, they have a record of yours that gets them through that. When they fall in love, they got a song of yours that they can think about that. You know what I'm saying? So like when people come up to me and say, hey man, I played whatever you like at my wedding, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a day you gonna remember for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the wedding don't go to shit and you don't have a bad memory. But no, I'm just joking. But like like those moments. You know what I mean? Like a motherfucker say, man, we played Bring 'Em Out at our graduation when I can't, you know what I'm saying? I had to play Bring 'Em Out for me at my graduation. That's a moment that you're gonna always take with you. And you thought enough of me and my art to include us in that special moment in your life. Yeah. So that connection is what we do it for. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to continue to show people that, you know what I mean, I'm still able to make that connection and I'm still able to produce high quality music at a stellar level.
You forget all the records and hits, and these are obvious ones, and you got something for every element of life. But if you had to go back and take one defining record from T.I.'s stuff, of course we got Rain coming out featuring Young Thug, so it's out today. The video's out today. Catch that.
And the video is out now. So
video is out now. We're gonna play it after this.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So we're gonna get into that. But if we're looking back, and there was one song, I know it's tough to define your career in your eyes, and it doesn't have to be the biggest commercial. It could be your biggest record, or it could be one that nobody really paid attention to, that went under the radar. What's one defining record for Tip in your career?
Dope Boys.
Taking it back.
Dope Boys, and Still Ain't Forgave Myself.
Yeah. Take it.
Dope Boys and Still Ain't Forgave Myself. I feel like those kind of the juxtaposition of those two records. That's kind of like how the pendulum swings from T.I. You go extremely ratchet, then you go back to extremely intelligent and retrospective. You know what I mean? It's like high energy gangster shit.
Yeah.
Then you got perspective and consciousness.
I mean, look at all like the producers you've been through, right? Like people forget your first album, Neptunes, right? Like Pharrell, who's still around, by the way, right? Like Tomb, biggest record, maybe one of the biggest in hip hop history. I remember when I first heard that record, I just knew that shit was out of here. You have people along the way from Banner and all the artists that you put on from people might not realize, like Travis Scott came from
Grand Hustle, absolutely.
Grand Hustle Entertainment's had a ton, and now you're all about still putting on new ATL artists. I know in the album you got a few features. I know you got some big names you're working on too, but you also have that next generation, right?
That's very important. I think that's very important, man. I think to appeal to the next generation, you're gonna have to kind of find an ability to relate to the next generation. Yeah. And I think what better way to do that than to align yourself with the voices, the faces, and the personas that they have, you know, that they hold in high regard, and see how close you are in relation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, right? Let's just say if you listen to bring them out after what's Thug's last record, man? Hot.
Yeah.
With him and Gunna. Like, okay, so if you listen to those records back to back, that shit gonna sound like a world apart. You know what I mean? However, if Thug and I's on, like when you listen to Ring, it should sound like it's married. It should sound like a perfect culmination of ability and skill that you know, two very different artists came together and collaborated in a way, and we complement each other. So at that point, you know what I'm saying, you just begin to make a different level of a connection. Same thing with Pardon with me and Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I myself see a lot of myself in Lil Baby. Like,
that
just
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
his approach to music, how he, you know what I'm saying, even just how he kind of carry himself and how he kind of, you know, navigate his way through the industry. You know what I mean? I see a lot of myself in him, but others won't necessarily see it until they hear how we kind of, you know, collaborate together on a record. So I think, you know what I'm saying, that was important. Even artists like 42 Dugg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Artists like Mozzie.
Yeah.
You know?
And you've always been key. The one thing too is like, there's of course artists that you've signed and put on through Grand Hustle, and we understand, like, everybody always sees too, and great artists, but there's a business intent there. But not you've been key and deliberate to put on artists that are just dope, like, right? And you'll take everybody from, even like Thug when he was on the way up, but he didn't have that big commercial record, and one of those first records that the mainstream heard him on was with you, right? And conversely, I mean, even seeing you out here on the West Coast and moving around with like Problem early on, and like helping support others like Trey and homie, like you know, you've it's not just been about the money and like what I can do. You've really been for that culture, which I think has helped give you this legacy that you don't see in a lot of other hip hop artists that don't think that same way, and how important it is to look back.
I mean, in order to have a sustainable, like, just a sustainable reign, if you will, or sustainable success, you can't make it transactional. It can't be about what I get for what I'm doing. Every time I do something, I need to get something. Every time I do something, I need to get something. Cause it ain't, you gotta work out the vibe, bro. You gotta kind of, you know, okay, the vibe is when I close my eyes and listen to this, I like it. Or maybe I don't understand it, but I'm intrigued by it and I want to hear more. And I just want, you know what I mean? It feels like something is, like, a lot of times I heard shit that I didn't really like. I didn't really understand it. But I could see that, I felt that this shit was special. Yeah. So I felt it deserved attention. So I forced myself to listen more. And I found, you know what I mean? And sometimes I was right, and sometimes I was wrong. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? But you invest your time, effort, and energy based off of that instinct, that feeling. And, you know, you just continue to follow your gut.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Now, I know it's your birthday, so I don't want to hold you up. I want to get you back to celebrating.
Oh, it's all right, man. I'm enjoying myself. All
right. Well, one thing I want to talk about. So Wednesday, on a serious note, Breonna Taylor, right? Like, you've been very outspoken about all the injustice going on. News came out, all the bullshit. We don't have to go through it. World's in a weird place right now. You've been very vocal about that. First up, what was your reaction when you first found out that, you know, they weren't going to do what the right thing was in terms of charging the policeman with murder, and how do we move forward too? Like, obviously, like, people are in the streets rioting, people are doing these things. What's your, like, I don't know the answer, but what's your insight? Like, what can we do? Is it keeping her name alive? First up, what was your reaction when you heard that news? I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't a shock, right?
Well, first of all, man, I gotta say, like, you know, I wish I could say I was disappointed, but I have, like, very low expectations for, you know, this country's justice system. Very low expectations. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to get under those. Like, as low as they are, it's hard to get under it. So I ain't disappointed because I never expected anything to be done in the first place. You know what I mean? I wasn't very optimistic about the outcome. And like, I feel what place do I feel like we're in as a nation? I feel like we're in a transitional space. You dig? I feel like change is inevitable, you know. And if you look back throughout the history of humanity, and you just kind of identify the times in history, whether it's the Egyptians, whether it's the Romans, whether it's the Mayans, whoever it is, you know what I mean? Whatever empire, whatever, you know, the Moors, whatever, whoever it was. Whoever fought against change, whatever group of people fought against change, they lost. The universe will have its way.
Yeah.
So right now what we have is we have a bunch of people who are kind of the same motherfuckers the people who embrace and support the same ideologies, the same principles as the motherfuckers who lost the Civil War, you know, wanted to continue slavery. Those same principles are being, you know, continued to be pressed upon us today. When we already brought this up, like it came up, we fought about it. You lost. Let's move on. So those people are continuing to fight to maintain a certain standard that is bound to change. It's bound to change. So at this point, they're not really fighting us as much as they are fighting destiny. They fight fate. You know what I mean? They fighting the universe at this point. That's why it's important for us to understand that, man, it's already in the bag for us. Whether it happened this year, next year, this generation, next generation, 10 years or 100 years, it's going to happen. How it happened, when it happened, how soon it happens is going to be a result of what we're willing to sacrifice.
So, and that's key. So it's not because one of the challenges, and like, look, I think a lot of people face this. I've faced it. Is it feels sometimes when you see news like what happened this week with Brianna, it's demoralizing and it punches you in that gut, and you're like, why am I even doing this? Right? Like, let's just give up. Nothing's going to happen. But you're 100% right. We obviously can't, and these are the things that are going to bring change. The challenge is that there's these people out there, and I remember I posted something, and I made it very clear to not make it political. I posted, equality in the end always wins. Stand on the right side of history. Equality, like not arguing for anything but equality. Didn't say Democrats, didn't say Republicans.
Right.
You know how much I had right-wing people like retweeting and posting that this nincompoop, like just calling me the most outlandish names. And I was like, really, people are fighting. I didn't even say anything crazy. I could have gone a lot deeper, but I intentionally was very.
Isn't it ironic? Isn't it
equality.
ironic that the same people who raise hell and fight to uphold the traditional elements or the traditional standards of morality.
That's who it always is.
As Christians, it comes from the Bible, and it says to treat your brother, you want the same for as your brother as you would for yourself. You want the same for your neighbor as you would for yourself. Love that neighbor. Like, okay, so you believe in everything else about this book except this. Like, it's just such a hypocrisy, and it is the most arrogant, egotistical, just air for someone to not admit that they're wrong. You just can't admit that you're wrong. Like Black Lives Matter. So you're saying that you can't even be fair enough to say that another race aside from yours matters.
And there's always a qualifier. Like if you say Black Lives Matter, they say, well, I believe that Black Lives Matter, but not all these people that are causing violence. It's like, why does there have to be a qualifier on that? Why is there no qualifier when somebody says all lives? Like, you know what I mean? Like the same thing. It only applies in this. It's insane. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, insanity needs no understanding to operate.
Bro.
It just needs an instrument to push it through from one person to the next. It don't need like no explanation. Like for instance, if you go to the MAGA supporters and you say, okay, well look, let me ask you this. What period in this country are you trying to go back to when you say make America great again? Tell me which part. Tell me which part it was great for the totality of people who exist in America now. When was it great enough for them?
Yeah, man.
And they can't answer it. But they will not disband the principles of the MAGA movement. So it don't need no understanding.
People, you're
They don't
right.
need no understanding to move on.
People can't be wrong. How worried are you about this election and what happens? Because for a while I was like, all right, I think things are going to change, but now there's a lot of voices on the other side that are like, we could wake up and still be in a similar, if not worse, position with those things. How do you feel about this election? And by the way, register to vote right now for everybody watching. It's
Absolutely.
more
Vote or else.
literally. We're having a conversation seriously about this, and we're supposed to be celebrating this legend's birthday, but
That's cool. This is just as important.
Yeah. How worried are you, like, personally about this election, honestly?
Where is it? I'm not worried about anything simply because, man, fear and faith can't exist in the same place. Yeah. If you're fearful, then you're not faithful. You know what I'm saying? I have faith in a higher power. I have faith in the universe. I have faith in my ability, and I have faith in our people. I have faith in what we can accomplish when we come together. So I would be abandoning that faith if I just kind of let fear, doubt, worry, or any of that shit, if I let that kind of, you know, compromise my mentality. So I ain't worried about it, but at the same time, I understand it could go either way. And I feel like we must create contingencies to proceed either way. You know what I mean? First of all, local elections are the most important. Local elections are the most important. Now, the presidential election is the most publicized, but local elections are the most important. That's going to affect your daily life and your environment in your community. But I think that, you know, it's one of the most important elections because we're talking about who's going to represent America.
Yeah. And
that shit don't represent me. I don't feel like an American. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm an American. Like, just with that representation, that is not a representation of who I am, what I stand for. That ain't a representation of my beliefs. That ain't a representation of my standards, my morals, my principles. So I don't feel like I'm being properly represented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I travel, like people who travel abroad, who go to Africa, who go to even some parts of Europe, like Spain, or, you know what I mean, just go to progressive places and, you know, to see, like, you know, to have conversations with people and like, man, what the fuck are you guys doing there? Like, God damn, what the fuck y'all doing?
Yeah.
Y'all can't get it together, huh? You know what I mean? I'd be embarrassed. Like, that shit is embarrassing, bro.
It really
you know what I mean? Is. But at the same time, we live through it.
No, man. And Tip, I appreciate this pep talk. Just talking to you, I know we're doing this for the people, but this got me feeling better about the world. You're right. The right side always comes out in the end. The fate, you just got to ride it out.
God's only going to fight on one side. If you believe in God, he only going to fight on one side. He's not going to fight against, you know what I mean, against himself. He's going to pick a side.
Yeah. And
that
side, that's what's so crazy. Like, this isn't like, we're not even fighting about issues. This is equality. This isn't like taxes or stupid things.
God-given human rights.
Equal. Anyways.
Yeah.
Ridiculous times that we are in. Thank you so much for all of your, I guess, contributions and time. I've seen you've made so many great speeches. I mean, I've been seeing you speaking with the mayor and politics. Would you ever? I mean, you've done everything else. Would you ever get into? Never.
No.
Look, hold on. Here's why, though. We need people that have been through this and that understand and that have a voice for change.
Nope. Nobody. Not at all. I have no interest.
Yeah.
I have no interest. I am in the for-profit business, okay? Yeah. I'm in the for-profit business. The fact that as holding political office, you cannot make legitimate, profitable money for yourself. Well, I'm not going to last
hold on. That's changed now.
in that seat.
That's changed
Like,
now. That's
I
changed with
love,
this
well, listen,
administration.
but the thing
So
is, I wouldn't even get into it if I can't do it like the right way.
yeah,
If I
no, no.
can't, like, make the necessary, it's somebody who's willing to make the necessary sacrifices, who's willing to, you know, answer all the conformities and fit within the parameters. I ain't him.
Yeah.
I'm not him. Now I will, in the best interest of the people, support the candidate that has the most sincere and genuine passion for fulfilling the needs of the underserved. I will do that. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm more useful that way
Yeah.
because now I'm unrestricted. I'm uninhibited. If I take an oath and swear into a position, I can only do this much. I
Yeah.
get outside the lines, I'm wrong. I don't.
True.
I need to be an amoeba, an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Expansive.
That's real. And like, look, I didn't want to, and to everybody watching, we didn't mean to turn this into a political conversation, but I don't think this is political. Again, we are speaking about equality and things that are going on in the world. So that's why it's important we had to take this. So again, get out there, register to vote, make your voice heard, don't give up. T.I.,
Right on.
ring out now with the video
You
featuring Thug.
dig.
We got the album. What day? You just broke it. I didn't even know you guys had an official date yet.
Yeah, man. We didn't till just now. Just kind of figured it out. Thought about it just now. I was in the mood.
That's
You know
how
what I
it is.
mean? You inspired me. So
I appreciate it, brother. I
so
appreciate it.
10,
So
16, man.
what
October
else can
16th.
we look forward to hearing on that album before we get out of here?
Man, an evolution of trap music.
You got some young hungry producers on there too. You got a
Sure.
lot. You got the homie Side Real. I know he got a joint maybe on there.
Yeah, Mike and Keys, Mars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got a bunch
All
of
the
shit going
fam.
on, man. DY.
All the
DY
fam.
Go Crazy, I think is his full name.
Yeah, man. You always keep your ear to the streets. Now, what's the biggest thing that you've missed since we've been on quarantine? Once this shit
Nothing.
is over.
Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Well, I miss my drinks in first class. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? I miss my beverages in first class. My accommodations are not as great. I've been flying private a lot more. Like I was really one of those frugal guys who didn't fly private.
It's expensive. People don't realize that's an expensive journey when you could just as
But
easily.
expenses are the cost. It's the cost of doing business. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, but only when you can afford it. Now,
Yeah.
usually I have an expense budget for myself. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I go to do is usually an expense for travel associated with it.
Yeah.
So if I have this already allocated toward travel and all I have to do is add another 5,000 with it to make this trip more comfortable for me, so be it.
Absolutely. You've put in the work. You've earned it. You've earned it after all these years.
But nah, man, but the fact that the lack of accommodations, man, now in airlines, like that shit is, yo, I don't want this shit. They give you a fucking snack box with some pretzels and
Bro, it's horrible.
a pack of salami. Who eats a pack of salami? Like it's like beef jerky almost. You know what
I'm
I'm
good,
saying?
bro. I'm
I
good.
can't do it, bro. Just put me on the jet. I bring my own.
But you don't miss going internationally or anywhere else, or you still finding ways.
I mean, man, I go to places. Mexico is open.
It's true. All you
You
need.
know what I'm saying?
All you
You
need.
got the DR. The
All you
DR is
need.
open.
All you need.
St. Martin's,
Live life.
Anguilla.
I
You
love
know, it's
I
places
love
to
it.
go. You just got to do your research. You got to be in the know. What I feel like quarantining and sheltering in places done, it's gotten all of the unnecessary people out of the way.
I love that. That's true.
Now, whenever you go somewhere, it's only the people who are supposed to be there. It used to be
Yeah.
like, the people who were supposed to be there, they couldn't even really get a seat because a bunch of other motherfuckers who ain't even had no business in there beat them to it.
Yeah.
So, it makes the room weird. Now, ain't nobody going nowhere unless they really need to be there or they really supposed to be there. So when you make it somewhere, those
Yeah.
people who in that room with you, they really, really, like for instance, can you imagine? Have you seen football?
I'm going out. I just did my COVID NFL thing. I'm going out Sunday
Right.
to do all the entertainment for the
You
game.
see how spaced out this shit is now?
I'm excited. I'm gonna be
Those are
the
the
only one
real
in the
fans.
stadium.
Those are the real fucking fans. You know what I mean? Everybody else just was in the motherfucking way.
Yeah.
If you aren't there now, nigga, you didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like it's done. It's got to get everybody out the way. Think about on the roads, right? I remember like in the height of the pandemic, in the midst of sheltering in place, I would, make runs, get food, check on my, do my essential business, and check on, what I'm saying, my other properties around the city. And just to see how many cars weren't out there, 5 o'clock in the midst of traffic time, open like an
That's
open
the
light.
best part.
Guess
Especially
what that tells me?
Atlanta, LA, the worst two
Everybody
traffic
else was
cities in the
just
world.
in the way.
Yeah.
It's just in the way. They didn't really need to be out here in the first place.
So you're loving it. So you can have the birthday that you want.
Absolutely, man.
The
only people that's gonna be there is the ones that's supposed to be there. It ain't gonna be nobody that like out just for the hell of it, just putting themselves in the mix.
I love it, bro. And appreciate all the fans that are here rocking with us right here on Dash with T.I.
These
celebrating
are
his
the people
40th
who were
birthday.
supposed to be here.
That's what it is. You guys are
You know
supposed
what I
to be
mean?
here. Tip, I'm
We
going to
kind
let you
of filtered out all of the bullshit. We done weeded out all of the unnecessaries. Now here we are, bow, with the perfect group.
I love it. And you don't have to travel as much. You can do a lot of Zoom calls like this. Tip.
You dig what I'm saying?
You're a grind. I appreciate it, brother. It's so great seeing you as always. Thank you for everything you've done over the years for culture, for music, for everything going on politically and making your voice heard and making a stand, as well as for me personally and our whole crew and fam here. We all got love for you. Happy 40th to another 40 times 10. And
I don't want to get that old.
No, you're good. You're never, dude. You never look. You just get
old.
wiser. You're like it's like a fine wine, right?
I want to be 400 years old. Everybody that I knew and that who were alive to witness the things that I've seen, they probably be done died. So I'm gonna be around here listening to a bunch of motherfuckers talk about shit that probably ain't really as important as the shit I lived through. So I don't want to really be that old. You dig?
You ain't.
I say 200. 200. That's my. That's a good year. That's a good year to go at. 200, 199. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that.
You've survived more lives than anybody that I've known going through all the shit you have.
That's accurate.
Gotta love it. T.I.P. happy birthday. We're gonna let you go back to it. DJ Journey, let's get into the mix. Let's actually get into this ring featuring Young Thug right now. Tip, always love. Appreciate you, brother.
And love and respect. And thank you for all you've contributed to the culture, man.
Appreciate it, man. That means a lot coming from you.
All right now, brother. Take it light now.
Hi, famo. Be good.
In a minute.